system rolls into Meltdown, and obviously there's a massive drop, which is the first chance people really get to hear the massive guitars in the album. So it's very important to us to make this track super heavy.
It's where the full album really kicks into gear and goes full throttle. With the electronics and the drums in this track, we really tried to make them blend so you can hardly differentiate which is electronics and which is percussion. And it really sort of molds together as one big sonically unified sound, as opposed to a few things integrated into each other.
It's probably some of our most frank and direct lyrics, and I know a lot of people find contest with some of the stuff that we say, but some of the stuff like fuck all borders, fuck all boundaries, fuck all flags and fuck nationalities, which is obviously quite a progressive statement. It's just kind of going from the thought that when you really step out of how we've divided up this world, it really is just gangs, just large-scale gangs. There isn't any reason to have nationalities and this sort of fake division between humanity, really. And it causes many more problems than it does do anything positive for the world.
Fuck all boundaries, fuck all flags, and fuck nationalities! You gotta give us a chance before we reach that!
It was very different in a way that we recorded Common Dreads, because Common Dreads, especially with the bass, was we'd record in clean DIs, and it would, we'd then modulate it after, and we'd play with effects after, and it was all done actually in like Pro Tools. Whereas this, it was all done a lot beforehand with it through pedals and stuff like that, and that's probably a lot of that was down to Dan as well, because he's a big guitar fan. So he's always used a lot of pedals, and it was great to actually experiment and to have the time to come up with some great tones for it.
You hear that? That's basically Roy hits it, and then I move it with my hand like that. So it's kind of standard, and it works when there's an octave part, when it's going up to an octave. So he's doing the same again, so it's him playing, and then me with my hand. So when you put the two together, you hear the guitar and the bass doing the same thing, and it adds a cool effect. So
it's always really fun trying to write guitar parts to drum and bass, because it's not normally a genre which has much guitar in it. So I had a lot of fun, like with sections like the outro section on this one. The electronics are mainly doing they're sort of quite high on the frequency range, so I use like an octave pedal and a whammy and stuff to get a real synthy guitar tone that would and I just pretty much followed exactly what the electronics were doing, just to kind of beef them up, which is always kind of fun.
I'm trying to accessorise my guitars a bit more.
Really? You're lying to me, aren't you?
No, honestly.
There must be something interesting about it.
I think it's to stop the strings from buzzing or something. I don't know, dampen it on there.
push them in that
I was just going to sit here and do what I'm told.
And it's a big, heavy sort of drum and bass track with wild sounds, just to kick people in the arse and say, here we are, we're back. This is Enter Shikari.
Behind, and the weight of